Hey y'all, welcome to the Jessica Queenly Show, or welcome back. If you already been watching some of my content, I appreciate it. I am back with another good one for you guys. Today I am going to be reviewing one of my favorite movies of all time, Frankie and Alice. So yes, Frankie and Alice is one of my favorite movies. I love this movie so much. I love the story of this movie. It's just so much that, this movie entails, and I'm actually really happy to be able to tell it to you guys, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know how many of y'all seen this movie or not, but hopefully I'm able to do a very good review if you have seen it, and hopefully I'm able to help you to love this movie if you haven't, and make you want to go see it. So with no further ado, here we go. Getting into the movie is based on true events. That's another reason why I love based on true events type movies. But yeah, this is the scene starts off in Savannah, Georgia, 1957, and it shows somebody's been in a car accident, and it shows a girl in there. She looks like she's scared. The cops, I think, just pulled up. And so, yes, and then it flashes back to what her life is currently. Okay, so just right there, what y'all think is going on with her? Like, her friend just accused her of doing a crossword puzzle that she obviously don't remember doing. She's not aware that she did it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the signs is coming in pretty strong already, right? I mean, to me it is. Next, we get this scene where she takes her girls to the pool hall, to let them know what's up, because apparently the girl is killing the game with the pool game too. So she takes her girls to the pool hall, and she's showing out her skills or whatever. Now take notice that she gains this man's attention, and so he's checking her out as she's killing the game with the pool table game. She takes her last winning shot. Oh, and she wins it. She wins the game. Impressing all the fellas and everything. Okay. Then we'll move on to this scene. And she gives him that look. You know what that look means. Somebody rocking, knocking the boots. So they go to his place, and they finna do some things. And while they're in the midst of doing some things, she steps on a baby's toy on his floor, and it kind of freaks her out. So now she looking for the baby. Where is the baby? Not only is she looking for the baby, but she hears the baby now. So she hears the baby crying now. So she's looking for a baby crying. She goes to the crib, pull the cover back. Ain't no baby there. Ain't no baby there.
It's all right. Took the kid to her mama's on Crenshaw, so
But watch this though. She about to do a switch up on him though. Look. Look.
Filthy nigger hands off me.
Ooh. No, she did not.
Mortify therefore your members which are on the earth. Fornication, uncleanness, inordinate affection, evil concupiscence, and covetousness, which is idolatry.
But look what she say next though. Look what she say next up.
Mortify therefore your members which are on the earth. Fornication, uncleanness, inordinate affection, evil concupiscence, and covetousness, which is idolatry. For which things sake the wrath of God comes on the children of disobedience.
What in the hell?
Frankie is not here.
Not Frankie's not here, child. Like what? Frankie's not here. She's straight up said, Frankie's not here. Wow, yeah, that's some next level shit right there. So anyway, she wrestles and tussles with him until she ends up breaking something over his head, and she runs out of his apartment building and into the street traffic. Here she is trying to run into traffic, trying to stop it with her hands like that's gonna do something. And then she gonna lay down. Just went ahead and lay down in the street. Like all the way down in the street. And then now there she go, just laying there. And so the police come get her. They take her to the crazy house or whatever, the psychiatric hospital, if you will. And there she go, I guess waiting her turn to get called or whatever. And this man is Dr. Oz, or Dr. Oswald. He is going to be the one who ends up treating her. So while he's checking her out or whatever, he's asking her questions about herself, and the answers that she's giving him seem to be normal, but he just kind of sensed that something is off. So he kind of wants to keep her there. But the other doctors there are telling him that he can't keep her there because she doesn't pose a significant threat or danger to others. So they have to discharge her. So next we get this scene where she is sitting on her bedroom floor, smoking a cigarette and playing with a white blind baby doll. A white blind baby doll. And while she's smoking, playing with her doll, the doorbell rings and she goes to see who it is. It's the landlord. The landlord is asking for his rent money. And so she goes to the place where she normally have her money at, and it ain't there. So she ends up just giving him what she got. She gave him a few dollars and was like, I promise you, I'm gonna get you the rest of it. So she closed the door and she looks for this money. She's really looking for this money because I guess she normally, don't do things like this. She normally has her rent money or whatever, but I guess that's not the case this time. So she's looking and she goes to her checkbook to see what's the last thing she spent, what's the last thing she bought. And Lord behold, she has a purchase for $185.98 from the Beverly Hills Boutique, child. So she goes in her closet and she pulls out this outfit that she got that sure enough says $185.98 on it. So, of course, the next thing she wants to do is she goes to the strip club, back to the strip club. I'm assuming to ask her boss for an advancement on her next paycheck so she can go ahead and have the money for her landlord. So this is that scene.
What's going on, Wanda? They're saying you attacked him, Frank. Who? Cliff. They say you cut his head wide open. What got into you? He tried something on you? He tried to hurt you?
Yeah, so her friends is tripping on her about what she did to Cliff. Apparently Cliff is the DJ at the club, and right after this, her boss ends up he walks right over and fires her for what she did to Cliff. So now she ain't got no job, child. So now she goes to see her mom and her sister. She goes over her mom's house, and that is her mom, played by the lovely Felicia Rashad, and her sister. I'm not sure what her name is, but yes.
It's just like back home. No, Mama. Oh, I'm finna bust. Look at you, girl. There's nothing to...
Oh, and real quick, I just want to mention how I don't like how her mom treats her sister. Like, she treats Frankie like she's just so beloved and like she's just the favorite child. And she treats her sister like she's nobody, like she's not even there. Like, you know, and whenever she does talk to her, it's like she's giving her a command, like trying to get her to go away or something. It's very, I don't like it. It's very distasteful, or whatever. It's just, I'm not feeling it. But yeah, continuing on.
Would you stop there? Won't you open your present? I'll take a little more cornbread.
I hope you save room for blueberry pie.
Now you know I did.
Frank.
Now that's a ruby. That's my birthstone. And that's amethyst. Maxine. So you think of us? You shouldn't have.
Don't baby. Frank, you didn't have to go wasting your money on me like that.
Maybe I'll take it back.
No, you won't. I am never gonna take it off.
Must be going pretty good over there at the telephone company, huh?
Now, peep the way she just looked at her. She gave her that look like, don't you be busting me in my lies. Don't you do it. And I think it's very interesting, the relationship that Frankie and her mom has, because Frankie apparently don't never tell her mama the truth about nothing. I'm not sure why. Well, I probably have a few ideas why, but we'll get to that later. But, you know, I don't really understand, like, if her mom adores her the way she do, I just kind of feel like that should be like a doorway for you to feel like you can be more honest. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, she seems to lie to her mom about everything. And apparently her sister be knowing about her lies. And she really be wanting to bust her in her lies because her mom just makes it seem like she's just the beloved child. And her sister is like, no, she's not all that perfect. Like, she actually lied to you all the time about everything. So she really be low-key wanting to bust her sister in her lies or whatever, just so she can so that her mom can know the truth, just because her mama treats her so bad. You know, she wants her mama to know, well, this one ain't perfect either. Since you think I'm the bad child, you need to realize that this your little perfect Patty child is not so much perfect. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I think she'd be really wanting to bust her low key.
Seen the paper today, Frank? Maxine, go fetch the pie in here.
Why?
That girl, hey, your dearest friend, she's getting mad. Maxine.
Oh, yeah? What to who?
Some rich guy. He in the city.
What, right here in L.A.?
Yeah, that's why they put it in the newspaper. Work with double rake and some shit should be quite a party. Maxine Murdoch, where did you get such spite in you? Only the devil knows.
See how protective she is over Frankie? See how protective she is over Frankie? Like, I don't know if I'm liking that. But anyway, the next scene is going to be at her at a payphone with the newspaper that her sister asked her about. Have she seen with her friend Paige in it? I forgot her last name right now, but Prescott. Her friend Paige Prescott that she just got done talking about. She ends up going to a payphone and calling her, you know, and she picks up and she's like, hello. And Frankie don't say nothing and she hangs up the phone and throws the newspaper in the water. Just being a weirdo, like just being a weirdo. I don't understand the child, but whatever. So then we get this next scene where Frankie is at the laundromat and we notice that she has a sensitivity to light when it comes to light flashing in her eyes. It causes her to have a flashback, and it also causes her to have a personality switch. So I didn't do a video recording to show that on this particular scene, but I do have an example later on in the video. So in this scene, it's a flashback of her going to her friend's wedding.
plain old excuse, anyhow.
Well, how are you?
Oh, well. Remember, we always said we'd be there for each other on our wedding day. I'm here, Paige. And I wish you every happiness. Frankie. Now, is that your husband back there? I would like to see him.
Just slapped her just like that.
Why would you come here?
Okay. So yeah, I'm not sure we ever got to what really happened in terms of like why everybody was I mean, I guess she wasn't invited, number one. Number two, it looked like she was the only black person there. Number three, it seemed like she didn't know that she was the only black person there because, you know, she got a personality switch or whatever. So yeah, like maybe she just wasn't aware of that either. So she probably didn't know why they was looking at her like that or whatever have you. And I don't know if we ever got to find out exactly why her friend reacted to her in terms of like when she asked her about her husband, she slapped her. Like, I'm not sure if we ever got to that, but yeah, maybe we'll see.
Paige.
Excuse me. There seems to be a misunderstanding.
Well, there certainly does. She seems to think I'm somebody I'm not.
I'm going to have to ask you to leave.
I will not leave here. I was...
If it don't remind you of The Color Purple, when they were surrounding Sophia like that, if this scene don't remind you of The Color Purple, yeah, that's exactly what this scene was giving. Except for she don't seem like she knows she black in this scene right here though, but yeah. So this scene is her at the police station because they clearly was gonna lock her butt up for what she did, cutting that white man like that. And she don't want to be locked up, so they told her that, you know, based on her history, if she can get committed to some type of psychiatric hospital, then she won't have to do the time. So she calls up the dude, the Dr. Oswald dude, and she explains to him the situation. So he agrees, and the lady is taking her in, and she is looking at all the other people up in there, all the other patients, like, oh my goodness, is this what I got to deal with? So here she's talking to Dr. Oswald, and I think in this scene she doesn't really seem to be very receptive of him trying to help her. So he's asking her questions, and she's over here dodging it, talking about, so what happened to his wife, and, you know, she over here trying to sit next to him on his desk, talking about, you know, so how long has it been since he left his wife? He was like, how do you know that? She was like, because of the faint line on your ring finger or whatever. So he was like, oh, so you're very observant. So yeah, so he was already kind of peeping a lot of things about her just by her trying to be so avoidant of his questions, of, I guess, him trying to be up in her business, I guess.
Maybe have these blackouts. Waking up.
Smoking, but that wasn't her. That wasn't her though. Yeah, that was Frankie that smokes. This lady don't smoke. Okay. So we get the scene where he talks to her about experimenting with LSD to help enhance her hallucinations, so he can, you know, learn to help her better, like learn how to help her better, should I say. Oh, and she has a thing for ding dongs. Remember in the beginning I said, remember, pay attention to the ding dong thing, because it becomes a important factor for her later in the movie. So yeah, so of course she agrees to do this, but only if he is able to give her fix, her non-drug fix, which is ding dongs. So he gets her under the LSD, and out comes a new character. It's a personality of a child. So he's asking this personality about what they know about Frankie. And of course, soon as he asked her about Frankie, you know, he was like, who helps Frankie? And the did he know about? Oh, she said he asked her like, "Do you ever help Frankie?" She was like, "Yeah," or whatever. Well, no, I can't really help her. He was like, "Why not?" Like, you know, cause she was like, "Cause nobody ever helps Frankie." And he was like, "Why not?" And so she was like, "I just can't." And then she starts turning into somebody else, and emerges this lady, the one that that fought Cliff and hit him upside the head and went to go lay down on the street. That one that was like, "Get your hands off of me." That lady, the one that said, "I don't ever smoke." So this lady is reemerging here in this scene. So Frankie is back in this scene. She is in like a excuse me. She's in like a recreational room for like all the patients, and she's I think it's Soul Train is on, and it's they're dancing to Jungle Boogie, and she's trying to get the patients to dance with her. And while she's in there trying to get them to dance with her, the doctors are in the other room watching her and discussing her diagnosis. Her doctors tell the other doctors that he has come up with her diagnosis as multiple personality disorder, which I think is now called the dissociative identity disorder. So he takes her outside to tell her what her diagnosis is. And she was like, "Oh, so you basically telling me I'm crazy." You know, so she was very kind of emotional, kind of finding that out about herself. Like, I think she always knew something was wrong, but she, you know, I guess it's kind of different. It hits different when it's confirmed, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, she definitely felt the way. So in this scene,
She learned this from Frankie.
Well, that girl does know how to read a man. I have to give her that.
she talking to that white woman
A
again.
jolt, considering her occupation.
You find her promiscuous?
Well, now that's a fancy word for an ugly tendency.
But you're different from her in that respect.
What, Dr. Oswald? Whatever do you hope to imply? I have nothing in common with that girl, except the unfortunate situation of having to share this body. We'll see how long that lasts. Because I'm getting tired. Having to step in for, suffer hangovers. The smell of her encounters still on the sheets. They actually smell different from you and me. Don't you find that?
You mean black people?
Negroes. Yes. Did you know that one of them claimed in a book that Beethoven was a color? Beethoven.
Yeah, this white lady is a whole mess. This white lady is a mess. I don't even have no words for her no more. Like, it's beyond words for me at this point. Let's see what happens next. Oh, he's talking to her about, oh, he's trying to get answers from her about was it Mr. Pete? Yeah, I'm not sure Genius, the little kid personality that he ended up naming Genius. She mentioned something about Mr. Pete, and he was like, "Who is Mr. Pete? Is that somebody that helps Frankie?" And she was like, "Yeah, because nobody ever helps Frankie or whatever." And he was like, "What about you?" She was like, "I can't." And then that's when she turned into this lady. But yeah, so now he wants to know more information about who Mr. Pete is to Frankie, but she don't want to talk about Mr. Pete and Frankie's relationship. So she is avoiding it at all costs. So in the next scene, a nurse is like, well, you got such fluffy hair, like a little poodle. Like, why don't you let me do something with your hair or whatever? So she decides to try to fix her hair up for her. And so while she playing her hair, she they got the radio playing, and a song on the radio triggers Frankie and causes her to have yet another flashback. Okay, so every time she get a flashback, she come back as somebody else. I feel like we kind of peeped that by now, right? So she get a flashback, she come back as somebody else. So she comes back and she flips on this nurse child, and then they kind of finally contain her, and once they get her contained, they probably put her under some more drugs, and now she comes back as the little girl, the child personality. And apparently the doctor kind of noticed that this personality struggles seeing, so he gave her some glasses so she can see. That's is that weird that one of your personality is like near or farsighted, and then you have other personalities that can see perfectly fine, like 20/20 vision? I think that's strange. Like, how does that mess with your vision? I don't know if I get that one. But anyway.
I don't mean to be ungrateful, Doctor, but why would I waste a second of my time?
Is what happened
to
next.
help her?
What do you mean ungrateful?
Well, for all the help you've given me, I think it's this place. Poor thing's getting tired. She's finding it harder and harder to cope. I don't know how much longer she can go on fighting with me.
Alice, you gotta see who you are. You're black, you're not white. You're her, she's you.
Well, then who am I looking at?
Yeah. So this part, when I remember when I first seen it, it really kind of freaked me out, because I'm like, hold up. You mean to tell me this lady looking dead at herself in the mirror and she don't see a black woman? Right. So yeah, let's see what happens next. I wanted to knock the black out of her or something. Like, she finally must have saw the black and decided to knock herself out. Ain't that some crazy? Now that is some next level crazy for real, if I ever seen it. Okay, this next scene we get Frankie, the nurses let Frankie know that she's being discharged, or actually she could have left a long time ago, because they dropped the charges. They been dropped the charges or whatever, so she could have been left. And she's like, what? So of course she mad, cause she like, she finna go look for Dr. Eyes to confront him about how come he didn't tell her that she could have been left. So she go to confront him, and she don't find him, but she do find all his findings about her written on his little board up there. So she's looking kind of like, what in the mess is this? And I'm seeing that she got her main personality, who's Frankie. It's a black female, age 32, IQ 132, but blood pressure, wow, the blood pressure and the different personalities is different. That's crazy. Frankie got perfect 20/20 vision, and she right-handed. Okay, a genius is a black female, between the ages of 8 and 12, and IQ of 156. Because the little kid personality is probably like the smartest one of them all. And the little kid personality was like, I love to read. Like, she when he met the little kid personality, was basically like breaking down the meaning of Frankie's middle name, which is Lucinda. And she's like, it means, to be clear and lucid and da-da-da. But yeah, so the little kid personality is smart as hell. She's smarter than all of them. But yeah, so the little kid personality is also nearsighted too, which is weird to me, and they got different blood pressures and everything. It's something else. But I think that's just another shot of it. Let me see what's next. Oh, that's the Alice. No, this is still Genius. Nearsighted, she's right-handed. She helps Frankie. And then he has like a question mark with her sister and mother. He still doesn't know anything about them. But yeah. So, oh yeah, he has a question behind Mr. Pete too, because he needs to know more information about Mr. Pete. So here is when he comes back. He comes back in very high spirits because he finally has a plan for how he's going to get Frankie and her other personalities to act right. Because the white personality, the white Southern racist white lady personality, she was not trying to give up no type of information. Like, she just was way too smart for his antics of how he was trying to get information out of her. And then, of course, Frankie, I guess Frankie gonna just tell him what she want to tell him. She ain't gonna tell him everything. And then the only person that probably will tell him everything is the young one. But the young one is scared of the white Southern racist lady. So every time she get ready to tell him some valuable information, here come the Southern white lady brewing her head to move little Genius out the way. So anyway, he comes back with a plan because he figured that he could just write up a contract for all of them to sign, all of Frankie and her personalities to sign. And, the guy, he burst into a meeting. The other doctors was having a meeting. He burst into the meeting, interrupted the meeting, talking about, why did y'all let her go? That was my patient. Da, 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 da. And he was like, well, she, was discharged because the charges was dropped. How come you didn't tell your patient that she was free to go a long time ago? He was like, because I had to handle it carefully. And he was like, what had happened? Oh, okay. So yeah, he was like, well, hold on. Okay, so yeah, the doctor was like, so if you knew she was outpatient, why didn't you tell her yourself that she was free to go a long time ago? And he was like, because it has to be handled carefully. Plus, he had drawn up a contract that he wanted each of her personalities to sign. So then the other doctor rightfully sarcastically responded, so you were waiting for each of her personalities to give you the okay? Then Dr. Oz was like, of course. How else was I supposed to get them to cooperate with each other? Then the other doctor said, well, do you plan on having each one of their lawyers look over it first? I had to cackle at that. The back and forth between these two men is just too funny. So of course, Dr. Oz lastly responds that an incredibly unimaginative way of looking at it. And then he walks out because he was just in his feelings about that. He really was expecting Frankie to be there because he felt like he finally had a plan, and the plan is gone. The plan was shot down. So of course he's still in his office. This next scene, of course, he's in his office, mad about the whole thing still, and a nurse comes in to tell him that her address is still on file, and as well as her mom and her sister. And he's curious about them too, so he jets at the opportunity to go to their house. So he hurries over there to their house, and when he gets over there, the mama or the sister is looking out the window, and they was like, Mama, it's some white man here. And she was like, oh, goodness, it's not the police, is it? And the mama looked out the window. He's like, no. Well, I guess it looked like a psychiatrist or whatever. I didn't know. So he comes in, and she's like, I didn't know she was seeing a psychiatrist or whatever. Well, actually, the sister thought it was her boyfriend. Like, I didn't know Frankie was with a white man. And I think her mom was like, no. So he come in. I guess they find out this she's been seeing a psychiatrist. And so so anyway, he goes to their house, and he talks to them, and the mom is like, well, I haven't seen her. He's like, well, have y'all seen Frankie? Yeah, I really need to talk to her. And the mom was like, well, no, I haven't seen her. And the sister was like, yes, you have. She was just here. And he was confused now, because he's like, wait, is she here? Well, she wasn't here. And she's like, she was just here. Mama, you need to quit trying to take up her and protect her like that. Like, look what she did to your neck. So apparently Frankie came over there wigging out on the mama. She put her hands around her mama, basically trying to choke her out like she did the other lady from the psychiatric clinic or whatever. And the mama had to wear a scarf. I don't know if I got it. Hold on. That's the man. He pulled it up.
How could she afford it? Well, technically, this takes treatment, but something you have to face.
He said, I know he died. It's just something you have to face. But I don't think she told him yet how he died, or, she still haven't really told him much about him yet. So he just know that he died because her mama told him that much. So anyway, he talks to her about, her other personality, her other two personalities, I guess you would say, because I'm not sure she is aware of either one of them. So I know she's not aware of this white lady, the white lady that she be turning into. I know she's not aware of her. So she said, oh, is there a way that you could show me who this lady is? I would like to see her. And so he was like, I'll figure something out. So she was like, well, what I like before we get started doing anything, working on anything, I need my my ding dongs. So of course he goes to the store to get her some ding dongs, and he sees this little TV that has his reflection in it. And this is the 70s, so it is the 70s at this point. So what is it called? Surveillance cameras was probably brand new. So he's looking at this like, oh my goodness, what is this? So he's very amazed by that, and he ends up getting, some form of that himself, so he can record her as she turns into her other two personalities. So she got her little box of ding dongs over there, as you can see through the TV screen one, and they finna get ready to go to work, because like I said, them ding dongs is kind of like her fix, and it kind of helps her to, I don't know, be more comfortable with doing this work on herself. But yeah, see what's next. But yeah, so that was Frankie and Alice. It's actually, I take that back. So at the end, hold on one second. Okay, I thought I had a picture of what happened at the end, but yeah, at the end, he pretty much told her that, at the end, he pretty much told her that, they just gonna have to keep working on this. And she's like, how long it's gonna take? And he's like, I don't know, but we just gonna keep working on it until you're able to have all three of your personality kind of on one accord with each other, And so the end credits let us know that, he worked with her until she got control of her condition, and he died in 2001, and she went on to be a high school teacher with the help of Little Genius. So I thought that was a nice, cute ending to kind of update us on, what ended up happening with them. And my closing thoughts. This movie was a whole lot, actually, and I don't know. I just feel like the relationship between the mom and her two daughters are very different. She treats Frankie very different than she does her other daughter, Maxine. And yeah, I definitely have voiced. I don't like that she does. She has that those two dynamics between her two children. And I don't like, oh, and what happened to, I skipped the whole part. So after she finally opened up to Dr. Oz about Mr. Pete and what happened after the accident. And she said after the accident, she found out she was pregnant by him. And so, of course, when it comes time to her to give birth, her mama delivered her baby and probably was supportive of her the whole time because she probably didn't know who she was pregnant by. So she delivered the baby. The baby come out just for her to look at her baby and see that the baby looked white. The baby probably had blue eyes or something like that. Very, very light, fair skinned. And the mama looked like she was pissed that the baby was looked like by a white man. So the mom takes some cover the baby up like completely and takes the baby out somewhere. So as far as Frankie is concerned, she feels like her mom killed her baby because the baby looked white or whatever. And that just, every time I see that part, it really breaks my heart for Frankie, because it's like, what mama does that to somebody's baby, no matter who the baby's father is? You know, that baby look black or white. Why would you do that to your grandchild? That's crazy to me. So, but yeah, I definitely forgot about that part. She did end up opening up some more about Pete, Mr. Pete, and he did find out that